Welcome to the Aecorn podcast, where we delve into the latest trends and solutions shaping the future of real estate. I'm Heather Stokes, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by our Chief of Business Development, Mark Anderson. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Heather. Great to be here. Always excited to unpack these important topics.
Absolutely. Today, we're diving deep into something that's been generating a lot of buzz in Ontario, especially here in Toronto, multiplex housing development. Our team has been looking into the potential of these multi-unit homes to help tackle our ongoing housing shortages and affordability challenges. Mark, for those who might be new to the term, what exactly are we talking about when we say multiplex?
That's a great starting point, Heather. Essentially, a multiplex is a low-rise residential building that contains between 2 and 4 separate living units. So you might hear terms like duplex for 2 units, triplex for 3, and fourplex for 4. What's interesting is that these aren't a new concept. They've been a part of Toronto's housing history for over a century.
Right. It's more about re-emphasizing and in some cases expanding their role, isn't it? Especially with Toronto's recent decision to permit them citywide in low-rise neighborhoods. That feels like a significant shift.
It really is. For a long time, a large percentage of Toronto's residential land was zoned primarily for single detached homes. This new policy aims to introduce more of that missing middle housing into these areas. It's about gently increasing density without drastically changing the look and feel of established communities.
So why the big push for multiplexes now? What are the key benefits that our research highlighted?
Well, there are benefits across the board, Heather. For homeowners, it opens opportunities for generating rental income, which can be a huge help with mortgage payments and the rising cost of living. It can also facilitate intergenerational living, allowing families to have separate units for different generations while staying close.
That makes a lot of sense. What about for developers?
For developers, especially smaller and mid-sized firms, multiplex projects can be more manageable than large condo developments. The approval process can potentially be faster, and in Toronto, there are even exemptions for development charges for multiplexes with up to 4 units. This can make these projects more financially viable.
And for renters, who are really feeling the squeeze in this market?
For renters, an increase in multiplex development means more rental options, particularly in those low-rise neighborhoods that might not have many apartments currently. It provides alternatives to high-rise buildings and single-family homes, catering to a wider range of needs and household sizes.
It sounds like a win-win-win situation. But surely there are some challenges involved.
Absolutely, Heather. No solution is without its hurdles. One of the biggest is the financial aspect. Land and construction costs, especially in a city like Toronto, are significant. While development charges are waived in some cases, accessing financing can still be a challenge, particularly for smaller players.
And what about the regulatory side of things? We know how complex that can be in real estate.
Exactly. Navigating building codes and zoning regulations, even with the recent changes, can be tricky. There can be inconsistencies in interpretation, and the permit application process can still be lengthy. It often requires specialized knowledge to navigate successfully.
We also hear a lot about community reaction to development. How does that play into the multiplex picture?
That's a crucial point. Community acceptance can be a significant barrier. Concerns about increased traffic, parking, and changes to neighborhood character are common. At engaging with the community and addressing their concerns proactively is really important for successful integration.
Our research also touched on the early impact of Toronto's policy changes. What have we seen so far?
It's still early days, Heather, but there has been an increase in building permit applications for multiplexes since the policy change in May 2023. While the numbers might seem modest initially, it indicates that there's interest from both homeowners and developers. It takes time to move from application to completion, so we'll need to monitor the longer term trends.
And what about the impact on property values and the rental market? That's what everyone wants to know.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Some experts anticipate that allowing more units could increase land values due to the enhanced development potential. However, the impact on overall housing costs and rental rates in the short term is still uncertain. Looking at other cities that have implemented similar policies like Portland and Minneapolis suggests that a sustained increase in supply can eventually help stabilize rents.
Our report also looked at some data and trends. Anything interesting to share there?
We looked at historical data on duplexes in Ontario, which shows they've had a consistent, though not dominant, presence. We also examined building permit data, which shows an overall increase in multi-unit construction intentions. In Toronto specifically, the successive policies around secondary suites and laneway houses offers some encouraging precedents for multiplex development.
It's fascinating to see how different housing options are being explored. The report also touches on community and tenant perspectives. What did we learn there?
We found that community reactions are mixed, as we discussed earlier. While some support the creation of more diverse housing, others have concerns about potential negative impacts. From a tenant's perspective, multiplexes can offer more affordable options and a wider range of housing types in established neighborhoods, good property management and design that considers noise and shared spaces are important for a positive living experience.
And were there any interesting case studies that stood out?
Definitely. The Rehousing Initiative, collaboration between the University of Toronto and other partners, has developed over 50 prototype plans for converting common Toronto house types into multiplexes. This shows the architectural feasibility and provides valuable resources for homeowners and developers. We also saw examples of individual homeowners converting their properties into multiplexes for rental income and intergenerational living.
So bringing it all together, Mark, what are some of the key recommendations that came out of our research?
On the policy side, streamlining zoning and permitting processes further is crucial. Exploring additional financial incentives for multiplex development could also encourage more uptake for developers and homeowners. Engaging with the city and community early on is key. Thorough feasibility assessments and working with experienced professionals are also highly recommended.
And the overall conclusion, are multiplexes really a key to unlocking housing affordability in Ontario?
While multiplexes alone won't solve the entire housing crisis, our research strongly suggests they are a vital piece of the puzzle. By increasing housing supply, offering diverse options, and utilizing existing infrastructure more efficiently, they have significant potential to contribute to a more affordable and sustainable housing market in Ontario. The recent policy changes in Toronto are a positive step, and it will be important to monitor their impact and continue to explore ways to support multiplex development across the province.
That's a really insightful overview, Mark. Thank you so much for breaking down our research for us today. It's clear that multiplexes offer a lot of promise in addressing Ontario's housing challenges.
My pleasure, Heather. It's a complex issue, but it's encouraging to see innovative solutions like this being explored.
Absolutely. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in to the Aecorn podcast. For more in-depth information on this topic, be sure to check out the full research report on our website at aecornrealty.ca. Join us next time as we continue to explore the ever-evolving world of